How are you? It's time again for another cartoon in our book called 300 Drawing Prompts. So we'll get to that in a second. Also in this episode, I want to talk about how to do a grid drawing. That's a drawing where you put a grid over the original, you draw a grid on a piece of paper, and then you draw what's in each square of that grid, making it a lot easier to get your proportions correct. Even if you don't draw, it's a pretty easy thing to draw within a 1-inch square, what you see in the 1-inch square on the photograph. So we're going to do that. I'm going to show you a method that I use to do my grid, and maybe it's something you'll be able to use. Okay, let's take a quick look at the cartoon for today, and the subject was Dr. Seuss's hat. So, you may have thought of something, and let's see if you thought of the same thing that I did. Here's what I did. Dr. Seuss and his friend there. So that's what I did. Let's look and see what we have for next time, which is your reflection. You can be thinking about that. I'd appreciate it if you leave a comment on what you might draw for your reflection. And next time we'll see what I drew for this. I entered into Google 1-inch grid and hit images and came up with all these different grids on here. And they all look about the same, but I think I've settled on this one right here, made a copy of it and put it on my desktop. And here it is on the desktop. So at that point I needed something to draw. So I decided I wanted to draw this soldier, a special operator, and I found his picture online and then put it into preview, so that's where I have it right now. And I printed out my grid on paper right here. And what I'm going to do is put this paper upside down into the printer right here. And when I print the photo of the soldier, it's going to come out with the grid over the top. And let me show you how that looks. Now here's the paper with the printout of the photo of the soldier and the grid. And you can see it's a perfect grid right over the top of him. Now the next step is to draw that same grid on your drawing paper, which I've done here. And I've also just started drawing in the soldier right here. Here you can see the soldier's face and what I've done so far in pencil. So it's just a matter of drawing what you see in each square. Right here, if I zoom in on this particular square at the top, you can see a little bit of his headset on the top and part of his cap in the first grid. And you can see we drew that in right there. So it's a matter of drawing each little section until you get the entire drawing done. Now, this is going to take some time because if you look at the detail here, it's quite detailed. Well, that's going to take a little time, but I will show you my progress as I go along here. In the next episode, I hope to have quite a bit more done, as you can see. And I may video some of it as I draw it, so you can see how that works. I do use a compass as a scale. So what I do, I measure distances from these lines to a point in the drawing, then I match that up over here and I know kind of where to draw. You don't have to do that. I do it to make sure I get my proportions right. But anyway, as we go along on this drawing, I'll show you how I do that in the next video. So, a kind of a quick introduction to what I'm going to be doing, but hopefully you'll watch the next video and be able to take a little something away from it. I'll see you next time.